Risasi. Ili live. Mimi nani nikaishika hii?
Hello guys and welcome back to Trending Updates TV, your number one YouTube channel that updates on anything and everything that is trending both locally and internationally. On Thursday, Kenyans across the country took to the streets to demonstrate against the Finance Bill 2024. The protests, particularly intense in Nairobi's Central Business District CBD, saw running battles between protesters and police for the better part of the day. The protest began early in the day with youthful demonstrators gathering in Nairobi CBD. They carried placards, lit bonfires, and chanted songs expressing their dissatisfaction with the finance bill. This bill, which passed its second reading in Parliament with 204 MPs voting in favor and 115 against, has sparked widespread controversy and opposition among the Kenyan populace. As the day progressed, tensions between the police and protesters escalated. By 9 p.m., demonstrators were still present in the streets, their resolve undiminished despite the heavy police presence. The situation took a tragic turn when reports started circulating on social media that a protester had been allegedly shot and killed by a police officer. The news of the alleged shooting quickly spread across various social media platforms. According to multiple sources, a protester identified as Rex was shot by police and pronounced dead at 8:05 p.m. This information was also shared by Francis Gaido on Twitter. There has been a casualty. His name is Rex. He was shot by police and pronounced dead at 20:05, he said. The reaction on social media was swift and intense. Many users expressed their outrage and grief, tagging several human rights organizations and condemning the police and government for what they described as a lack of human dignity. Social media platforms were flooded with videos and eyewitnesses accounts of the incident. These videos show chaotic scenes in the CBD, with protesters fleeing from tear gas and police officers attempting to disperse the crowds. Eyewitnesses have described the atmosphere as tense and dangerous, with fears that more violence could erupt at any moment. The incident has intensified calls for accountability and justice, with many demanding a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the alleged Rex death. As of now, there has been no official statement from the police or the government regarding the alleged shooting.
To mourn the death of Rex, one of our own, a young man who died in the course of duty. The only crime that Rex committed was to fight for his own rights. The only crime that Rex committed was to fight for the rights of Kenyan citizens, was to ensure that the high cost of living is lowered, was to ensure that the draconian finance bill does not go through. That is the only crime Rex was fighting for, to ensure that the jobless Kenyans get jobs, to ensure that he was fighting for the rights of everybody, including my own rights. That is the greatest crime that Rex committed. That is what made Rex be killed by the rogue police officer. And we are demanding, as members of the public, and we'll pursue this to the end, to ensure that this police officer is arrested, is persecuted, and is jailed for killing Rex. This is a young man who was just in the streets for a good purpose, demonstrations which were very peaceful. For the first time in the history of this nation, there were very peaceful demonstrations. A young man who was only armed with his brain, his body, and a placard, just to fight for the rights. Then the police officer, armed with everything, guns, rungus, horses, vehicles, tear gas, bullets, and the only reward that police officer can give to a young man is to take his life. a young man who was also fighting for the rights of those police officers, because there is no price of hunger that is different to a police officer, that is also different to a member of the public. And therefore, we will demand for his immediate arrest and prosecution, and also we demand that IG Koome takes vicarious liability. He is vicariously liable for the death of this young man because he's the one who gives orders. We also demand that he be prosecuted. We'll also institute a civil suit, civil litigation against him. We will also demand that the violation of right to life that has been infringed by the police be compensated. It will not be enough to exchange money for life, but we will nevertheless want that compensation to go to the family members. And therefore, we'll also, together with the families, institute a constitutional petition for violation of right and declaration violation of right and compensation in terms of damages. I know it is really sad to lose a young man. It should be normal for a child to bury a parent, but it is quite abnormal for a parent to bury a child. It is really painful and heartening. And I know that these atrocities that are being committed by this government, fate has a way of catching up with injustice. President Ruto, where he is seated, how does he feel after Kenyan has lost life just because this Kenyan was trying to correct his mistakes, the mistakes that is forcing on the throats of Kenyans? And I want to tell him that it shall not stop there. It shall not stop there. I urge all the young men and women in this country to unite. Let the death of Rex not just go in vain. We will give Rex a befitting send-off of a hero, because he's a warrior, he's a hero. He's died for us so that we can enjoy the fruits of liberation, and we shall not disappoint him. And I urge young men and women, the millennials, the Gen Zs, Kenyans, not to let this death go in pain. Let there be still demonstrations across the country, in every ward, in every constituency, in every sub-county, in every county, and in the whole nation. Kenyans spoke yesterday, and they will still speak. No amount of shootings, no amount of deaths shall prevent them from fighting for their rights. And therefore, we will continue fighting. May Rex soul rest in peace.